Hey guys, welcome to my channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what you if Issei becomes a Emperor of Darkness. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like, and also share this video to your friends, and also watch part 1. Let's start the video. Some minutes earlier, after running out of the mansion, Issei took flight into the skies with his balance breaker activated. He didn't fly for too long and hid in a small cave in the forest of Ku Town.
He sat down and tried to calm down. "Partner, how are you?" spoke Drake slowly. How am I after what they did? I ain't some toy that can be just thrown away like that." "Who do they think they are?" echoed Issei's shout of pure fury and agony through the cave as his tears kept hitting the ground.
Calm down, partner. We have even worse problems right now regarding your pawn pieces and a curse that dragons get after their mates betray them or the mates die. You have very little time to, spoke the wise dragon, but it fell on deaf ears as Issei stood up with his glowing eyes.
Rainier was right. Who would want to be with a pervert like me? Those wannabe friends turn their back on me and have fun with my women. I'll kill them. I'll kill them all. I will obliterate their meaningless existence," shouted Issei as his aura started to leak violently.
The curse of the Juggernaut Drive rapidly started to influence Issei's thinking and mental state. "Partner, calm down. I can't keep the past hosts at bay for too long. You're already dying. Stop this," roared Diedrich, but Issei didn't hear him again, and his balance breaker once again appeared without even calling out to it, and several green orbs appeared and floated around Issei. "It's starting, yes, it's starting once again," spoke one of the green orbs. "I'll kill them," repeated Issei. "Finally, this time you will surely fall to the curse of the Juggernaut Drive," spoke another. "I'll kill them all," roared Issei as the images of his now ex-girls making love with his brothers kept flashing in his mind. "I, who am about to awaken, am the heavenly dragon who has stolen the principles of domination from God." "Partner, stop," roared Diedrich for the last time, but it didn't work as Issei continued the chant. Issei was getting bigger and his aura swirled around him violently, destroying the cave entirely in the process with the explosive power. "I laugh at the infinite, and I grieve at the dream. I shall become the red dragon of domination, and I shall sink you into the depths of the crimson purgatory." "Juggernaut Drive," roared Diedrich as soon as Issei finished the chant, and with a powerful roar that shook the ground woke up the whole town, but right after that all of the humans were knocked unconscious by his overwhelmingly dominating aura. There he stood, in a very similar to the scale mail armor with a much more dragon-like gigantic form. The armor possessed claw-like growths on the hands and feet, as well as horns and a fanged mouth on the helmet. The whole ground shook and cracked from his aura alone, but he did not release only his aura but some kind of crimson miasma that oozed from his body and covered the whole town with it.
Issei was tall enough to see the whole town of Ku, and as soon as he noticed the mansion he roared once again before moving towards it.
He didn't get too far as a bunch of magic circles appeared in front of him in the sky about 50 meters away from him. Out of the magic circles came out Syrex, Grafia, Kiba, Sona and her peerage except for Saji, Azazel and Michael. "What in the world is happening here?" shouted Azazel as he looked at Issei, who activated the Juggernaut Drive for the second time. "I would like to know that too. He was praying earlier some weird things," said Michael. "No time for explaining, right now we need to get him out of his armor," shouted Kiba, who was behind them. "What is this mist?" asked Tsubaki, Sona's queen. "I don't know, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable. It keeps sending chills down my spine," said Sona with a slightly unnerved look. The beast got annoyed as the people ignored him, so to gather their attention he started to power up. "Boost X20, roared Drake's voice. Everyone was on guard and prepared to fight this beast. Even Syrex was not enough to defeat Issei in his Juggernaut Drive without killing him.
"Drake cannot contact Issei nor anyone else once the curse is activated, so we can't know Issei's condition at the moment," explained Azazel.
"Azazel, send the White Dragon Empress here. Even if she is in the Chaos Brigade, we can't stop Issei without her help. We will stall for time in the meantime," said Syrex. Azazel nodded and called the White Dragon Empress via a magic circle that appeared next to his right ear. "Sona, you and your peerage create a barrier so Issei won't be able to destroy the town. Kiba and Grafia, you will help her while I, Azazel, and Michael will hold him back," ordered Syrex. "Yes, my lord," replied everyone before they landed on the ground and started to create a dome-like barrier around Issei, Syrex, and Michael.
"You ready?" asked Michael. "Yes," replied Syrex as he powered up, followed by Michael.
They unleashed their auras, but it was no match for Issei's dominating one. Syrex unleashed a barrage of demonic attacks as well as the power of destruction spheres and beams, while Michael used holy magic and light spears, but if it damaged the armor even slightly it repaired itself instantly.
While they were holding Issei in place, Azazel finally contacted the White Dragon Empress.
"Speak, Valerica, we have a problem here and I bet you already know what it is," said Azazel hastily. "The Red One activated the Juggernaut Drive again?" "Yes, I felt it," replied the Empress known as Valerica. "Still referring to your crush as Red One?" asked Azazel. "Who told you that?" shouted Valerica. "That doesn't matter, now, you want to save your crush or not?" asked Azazel. He got no reply, so Azazel tried to pressure her. "Remember, it's his second time activating the curse and his life force is still not replenished," said Azazel. "Fine, I will come," said Valerica before she ended the call. "Ho ho, from rivals to lovers, how sweet," chuckled Azazel before he entered the barrier to help hold Issei in one place. "Lane break, where are you going, Valerica?" asked Arthur as he saw Valerica leave the training ground. "You keep training here, I have some business to take care of," replied Valerica as she left the room. "So Albion, mind telling me how Azazel found out about that?" asked Valerica as she put on her combat clothes. "Well, you speak about the Red One's host so much while you sleep, I may have or have not told about it to Fafnir to vent my frustrations," replied Albion. "You'll pay for this," said Valerica with a sadistic grin that sent shivers down Albion's spine. "Balance breaker!" shouted Valerica. "Vanishing dragon balance breaker!" roared Albion, and in a bright white and blue flash, Valerica was in her armor. She created a magic circle and vanished in a flash. Back to Inku, Valerica arrived at the scene, and the first thing she noticed were that the whole town was covered in a dark crimson mist and a knocked-out Sona and her peerage with lone Grafia, who was struggling to keep up the barrier. Sirex and Michael had injuries but nothing too serious, while Azazel was in his downfall armor. And the last thing she noticed was Issei in his juggernaut drive destroying the surroundings and the annoying bugs that were in front of him. But once she saw his eyes and felt the mist, she felt a deep sadness. His eyes had flowing tears, but the tears were that of blood.
He let out a roar, but it didn't seem that of rage but rather, sorrow and agony.
"Albion," asked Valerica, "it can't be, Valerica, your crush here has very little time left, he's cursed by one of the most powerful dragon curses called Dragon's Fall. Once a dragon's mate dies or betrays, the dragon gets a curse and dies in a week or two.
Hosts of draconic sacred gears have a slim chance of getting the curse, but if that happens many times or the host's heart is weak and can't handle something like that, the chances are bigger.
There are 3 stages of this sickness. The first one is rage. Dragon can't control its emotions. Second, a mist is spread from dragon's body, and the third is blood tears. But I feel a strong demonic and draconic energy clash that is happening inside the boy's body. His pawn pieces are corrupted and are quickening the process of the dragon's fall, not speaking about his life force being depleted right this moment. Luckily this time the form is incomplete too, otherwise we wouldn't be able to save him," explained Albion to Valerica. "Then there's no time to waste," said Valerica, and as she was ready to take action, Issei launched a Longinus smasher at the faction leaders who were stalling for time. They were unlucky and were blown away from the force of the attack through the barrier, while Grafia fell to her knees unable to keep the barrier up. Valerica landed on the ground and started to chant, "I, who am about to awaken, am the heavenly dragon who has taken the principles of supremacy from God. I envy the infinite, and I pursue the dream. I shall become the white dragon of supremacy. And I shall take you to the limits of white paradise." "Juggernaut drive!" roared Albion as soon as Valerica finished the chant. Her juggernaut drive was similar but white instead of red, and the gems were blue, not green like Issei's, and some details were different but the same draconic appearance. "Longinus smasher!" roared Drake's voice as Issei unleashed another beam, this time at Valerica, but once it got close it disappeared without reaching its target as Albion roared. "Divide x20!" Valerica didn't waste any time as she charged a blue sphere in her claw using the energy she stored up from Issei's last attack and combined it with her demonic magic. Once she released the attack, it hit Issei and he roared out of pure pain as bits of Issei's armor flew in every direction before Drake's voice rang out again. "Divide x10!" and Issei cancelled the attack but was obviously damaged and the armor was repairing slowly now. Valerica was glad when she saw Issei get weaker, but it wasn't because of the attack. "Valerica, his life force is almost all dried up, he isn't getting weaker, he will use every last drop of his power and life force to destroy everything here in one last move," roared Albion, shocking Valerica in the process. "Do you have any suggestions?" asked Valerica hastily. "Yes, but you won't like it." "Not one bit," answered Albion. "Just tell me already," shouted Valerica. "You have to run," said Albion. "Are you crazy? I am not running away," shouted Valerica. "Then you'll die here. You don't have the time nor the power to stop him anymore, it's too late," roared Albion back. Valerica became silent and had very complex emotions about this until she had one last idea. "Office, I need your help," roared Valerica, but nothing happened. "Please Office, I beg of you," roared Valerica one last time, and much to her relief a magic circle with an infinity symbol appeared next to her and a loli with black hair, black eyes and pointy ears like an elf's emerged from it. "So noisy," said Office quietly with an emotionless expression. "Office, help me remove him from that armor quickly before it's too late," shouted Valerica as she pointed at the red draconic armor that was out of control. Office waited a moment in silence before giving her an answer. "I'll help if this noise stops," answered Office as she sent her snakes at Issei. The black snakes wrapped all around Issei and kept him at bay while Office opened a tear to the dimensional gap beneath Issei's feet. Issei fell into the dimensional gap, followed by Office and Valerica, who was still in her juggernaut drive. The tear closed and Issei's eyes and all of the gems started to glow more intensely by the second. "Hurry up, you have at least half a minute left," warned Albion. Office snakes moved to Issei's limbs and tied his legs, arms and wings. Issei was resisting with everything he had, but he couldn't fight against the dragon god at the moment. Valerica didn't waste time and started tearing his armor down slowly using her sharp armor claws while dividing Issei's energy. "Divide x50," roared Albion, but Drake's voice wasn't silent either as Issei kept boosting his power. Luckily for them, Issei couldn't repair the armor anymore and his defenses dropped significantly. But it was painful for Issei as the armor was forcefully removed from his body. It felt the same if not worse as peeling someone's skin. Issei struggled and resisted in every way he could, but nothing worked as Valerica continued to tear his armor. The blood, tears and the mist never stopped gushing out, as well as the sorrowful roars. "Come on, you idiot!" roared Valerica desperately as the time was running short.
Inside Issei's mind, it was darkness all around the body of a 17-year-old boy who was on his knees, clenching his chest above his heart, crying and weeping as the memories of the scene kept flashing in his memory and the moans of pleasure echoed. It was pure torture for Issei. Just a few hours ago or so he came up with a great plan to propose to the girls, but now he was seconds away from death as the Juggernaut drive continued to consume his remaining life force and sanity.
"Shut up, just shut up for hell's sake, just shut your damn mouth," shouted Issei as he couldn't listen to those moans anymore. But suddenly he heard a voice that made him stop weeping. A voice that he thought he would never hear again. "What are you crying for, darling?" asked the mysterious yet beautiful voice. Issei slowly looked behind and saw her, Rainier. Issei thought that was it, she would finish him off, but instead of that she just smiled, not cruel or sadistic but a genuine and kind smile before speaking again. "Why are you crying here?" asked Rainier again. "If you are feeling sad or are in pain, just share with your closest people and forget the ones that brought you that pain. Start with me, I'll take all of your anger and sorrow so you can start over again," said Rainier as she crouched down and hugged him. Why? He stuttered out of pure confusion. He thought that she came here to mock him and completely destroy him once and for all, but "Why, you ask?" "Because I truly love you. I know my actions say otherwise, but I had a reason. I truly regret killing you that beautiful day. I hope you can forgive me someday," said Rainier. Issei couldn't believe what he was hearing. He thought that she was lying, but her eyes told him everything. Her beautiful pink eyes held so much regret and sorrow for what she has done. Issei didn't know what to say. He was lost for words. "No need to say anything. Now wake up and don't you dare to close up that beautiful heart of yours with those cold and disgusting walls of ice. I for a fact know that someone will make sure to keep you from hiding your heart, but I want to hear you promise me yourself," said Rainier. Issei just stared at her before her expression turned a little angry. "I said promise," said Rainier with a hint of anger. "I promise," stuttered Issei. Issei wanted to say something, but before that could happen he was kissed by Rainier on the lips with passion and love that she truly felt. She removed herself from Issei and spoke her final words. "Now wake up, my cute dragon, don't ever give up, and I promise I won't give up here either," said Rainier as she slowly faded away. It was darkness for a moment before Issei's eyes shot open. The first thing he saw was what he thought was the night sky as he looked at a bunch of small glowing dots in the sky, but once he sat up, white hair fell on his face. "What the? Since when is my hair so long and white?" asked Issei, but something else caught his attention. He was somewhere very familiar. "The dimensional gap?" asked Issei out loud. He noticed that he was on a small boulder that was big enough for 3 people to sleep on and a black barrier that surrounded the boulder. Suddenly he heard a grunt. He looked down and near his feet, he saw a sleeping Valerica. "What did I miss?" asked a dumbfounded Issei. "A lot, partner," replied Diedrich. "Oh hey there, so what exactly happened?" "I can't remember anything only," said Issei, but silenced after he remembered what happened, but the memory ends at the cave. "Diedrich, what happened in the cave and why are we in the dimensional gap?" asked Issei. "Sigh, after you hid in the cave you activated the Juggernaut drive and got a curse called Dragon's Fall," said Diedrich. "I activated it again, but what is Dragon's Fall?" asked Issei. "Once a dragon or a host that has dragon-type sacred gear gets betrayed by its mate or the mate dies, the dragon gets a curse, the Dragon's Fall curse, and has a week or so until death. The only way to stop the curse is to either forget the mate, which is practically impossible, or find another mate." "Ask and get a simple thank you in return?" asked Valerica with a glare. Issei didn't know how to respond. "I did this because I like you, for quite some time now, and when Albion explained about Dragon's Fall curse, your corrupted pawn pieces, and the lifespan consumption of the drive, made me sad because I thought you were slipping out of my grasp as I literally watched your life slowly slip away and reach its end. It hurt me so much for some reason," explained Valerica with tears that rolled down her cheeks slowly. This was a side of Valerica that only a few people have ever seen. Issei just looked straight into her eyes and saw how beautiful they were. The blue orbs shined beautifully until for a moment he saw that horrid scene in his mind again. He flinched and Valerica noticed that. I don't know if I can after what happened," said Issei as he looked away. Valerica felt a little hurt, but she did expect something like this. She got closer to him, grabbed him by his collar, pulled him closer. Their noses were almost touched. Listen here, you are the Red Dragon Emperor and a dragon who are known to be fearless. Will you really let those whores stop you here, or will you make them regret their choices? You are my mate now and I will love you until I die and no one will stop me, not even you, so you either forget them or be a wimpy kid. I don't need a weak mate, understood, shouted Valerica with a glare. As Issei heard her describe him as weak and a wimpy kid made him furious as his new dragon pride took a hit. His new dragon instincts didn't like that at all and made Issei dominate her rather than let her insult him. He kissed her full force with passion. Valerica was shocked but reciprocated the short kiss. As they finished they both blushed and didn't make eye contact as they weren't used to this yet, they were rivals not too long ago after all. Valerica stood up and offered Issei her hand. Let's go, we can't stay here forever, said Valerica.
Sure, but I'll need a shower and new clothes, said Issei as he stood up with the help of Valerica.
She helped Issei walk because he didn't walk for a month now. She took a sword out of her pocket dimension that was Caliban that she took without Arthur's knowledge and slashed the air with it. A tear in the air was made. They walked through that tear and left the dimensional gap. To be continued. Thanks for watching guys, part 1 is over. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's meet another video.